Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube class. In this video we will see how do we reverse an array between the lower limit and the upper limit. Suppose this is the given array 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 and 70, and I say let the lower limit be say 2 and the upper limit be say 5. I need to reverse the array between index 2 and index 5. It means the array elements at index 0, 1 and 6 remain same, 10, 20 and 70. But what happens the array between index 2 and index 5? It reverses. Therefore 30, 40, 50, 60 will become 60, 50, 40, 30. And notice one thing, we are not creating the new array, we are modifying the original array itself. Therefore I have given the addresses as same. Same. Now, how we are going to solve this? I want you to pause the video over here and give it a thought on how do we solve this particular problem. Now, you see 30 is at index 2, 60 is at index 5. In the original array, 30 is at index 2, 60 is at index 5. But in the modified array, after I reverse it, 30 is at what index? It is at index 5, and 60 is at what index? It is at index 2. That means 30 and 60 are exchanged, they are swapped. Now see the next element, 40 and 50. 40 was at index 3, 50 was at index 4. Now in the modified array, 50 is at index 3 and 40 is at index 4. That means you swap the first element and the last element, that is 30 and 60. Then you swap 40 and 50 and then you stop the procedure over here. This is how we reverse an array between the lower limit and the upper limit. I want you to pause the video over here and write down the code yourself. Thank you. Let us write the code to reverse an array between the lower limit and the upper limit. And let me start with Intermain. You have to write the appropriate prototypes of all the functions that I am going to use along with the header files. We need an array. Let's declare an array, and I say int a of 100. You can say int a of 1000, 10,000 or something. Now what happens? This is the main scope. Please observe here I am drawing with the scope diagrams. This is the main scope. How many variables are there? As of now there is one variable, and that variable is an array whose name is a. The indexes are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on up to 99. Let the base address of this be say 1000. What would be the next address? It would be 1004 because integer takes 4 bytes, 1008, 1012, 1016, 20, 24 and so on and so on. And we want to store n array elements, therefore I declare a variable n, another variable n will be created. Let the address of this be say 5000, and what will be stored in n to begin with? It's the garbage value. I need to read the value of n. We say scanf and we write it as %d ampersand n, and I say ampersand n, and let the value of n be say 7. It means we want to store 7 array elements 0 to 6. And to read the array, we already have written one function called as read array. Again I am saying this is not a built-in function, this is a user defined function. You have to write it. Read array, which array we want to read it? A. And how many array elements we want to read it? We want to read n array elements. Now the value of n is 7. Let's store 7 array elements, 10, 30, 40, 50, 60 and 70. Now after I read this, the question is reverse the array between the lower limit and the upper limit. That means I need lower limit and I need upper limit, which the user will enter, and we have to reverse the array in between that. Hence I can write here printf enter lower limit and upper limit. I say enter lower limit and upper limit and upper limit. Now after you say enter lower limit and upper limit, let us read it, and we will store L in lower limit and U in upper limit. We say scanf %d, ampersand L, ampersand U. And let's declare two variables. What are the two variables I needed? L and U. Assume that the value of L is 2, that is the lower limit, and assume that the upper limit value is 5. That means between 2 and 5 I need to reverse the array. Between 2 and 5 I need to reverse the array. Is that okay? Now for this, let's write one function called as reverse. Let's write one function called as a reverse array. You can name any as the function name, reverse array. Which array I want to reverse? I want to reverse the array A. Is that okay? I want to reverse this array. How many elements are there in the array? There are n elements in the array. And between what indices you want to reverse it? Between lower limit and the upper limit. Between lower limit and the upper limit. As of now, let the return type of the function be void. And if any necessary changes, I will make some necessary changes and we will see what should be the return type. As of now, let it be void. Now, which is the function that we are writing? Void. What is the function name? The function name is a reverse array. What is the first parameter? The first parameter is A, which is nothing but integer one-dimensional array. Hence, I write it integer one-dimensional array. What is the second parameter? It is the number of array elements n. What is the third parameter? It is L, the lower limit, and the last parameter is U, the upper limit. The last parameter is the U, the upper limit. Now what happens whenever you call the function? The scope of the function gets activated. Now this is the reverse array scope. This is the reverse array scope. How many parameters are there? There are 4 parameters. The first parameter is A. The second parameter is N. The third parameter is L, and the last parameter is U. Is that okay? Now, A is an array. Whenever arrays are passed to the functions, the base address gets passed, not the complete array. We know that. Now, what is the base address here? The base address is 1000, therefore 1000 is stored here. The next parameter is N. N is the number of array elements, which is 7. The next parameter is L. L means the lower limit, and we have taken the lower limit to be 2, upper limit to be 5. This is how the reverse array scope will look like at the runtime. Now, what I need to do? I need to reverse the array between the lower limit and the upper limit. And already I said we need to reverse 2 and 5, we need to reverse 3 and 4, and we will stop the procedure. Now, let us take a variable as I, which is pointing to index 2, and the variable as j, which is pointing to index 5. Now, what do I write over here? I say int I is getting the value of lower limit and int j is getting the value of upper limit. What is the value of I now in the reverse scope? The value of I is 2 and the value of j is 5 in the reverse array scope. Now I need to swap these two elements. I need to swap 30 and 60. And how do I swap 30 and 60? Yes, how do I swap 30 and 60? I say temp is equal to A of I. I write temp is equal to A of I. Now when I say temp is equal to A of I, what will happen? Temp is equal to A of I. Now what is A of I? A of I is nothing but star A plus I. This is the pointer notation, we know it. Now what is A? A is an array name. And what is I? I is an integer. Now array name is nothing but pointer. Pointer plus integer is nothing but pointer plus integer into D, where it gets the scaling factor. Hence, this compiler internally converts to star A plus I into D, where D is the size of array data type. It happens because of pointer scaling or pointer arithmetic. Now, star. What is the value of A? The value of A is 1000 plus. What is the value of I to begin with? It is 2. And what is D? D is the size of array data type. And what is the array data type here? Integer. And size of integer is how many bytes? 4 bytes. Had it been double, you would have written 8. Now this becomes star 1008. Now what is star 1008? It means go to address 1008 and fetch the value. Why? Because it is on the RHS of the equation. Now what is the value at 1008? It is 30. This is how internal works. Now if you want to say a of 2, this is a of 2, but you might get confused. Sir, we are in the reverse array function. How did we go to the main function? Because arrays are passed by the reference or by the address. Hence, the value of temp, what will be the value of temp will now become? The value of temp will become 30. Star 1008 is nothing but 30. Now, at this point of time, you want to store 60. You know how to swap two numbers, needless to say. And I say a of I gets the value of a of j. Now, how does it work internally? Just now I did the working of a of I. A of I is 1008. Just now I did the working of a of I, which is 1008. Now the value of temp is 30. I am writing here the value of temp is 30. Now what is a of j? A of j is nothing but star a plus j. Is that okay? Now a is an array name. Array name is pointer. Pointer plus integer. The scaling factor happens star a plus j into d. Or you can call it as pointer arithmetic as well. Star. What is the value of a in the reverse array function? It is 1000 plus. What is the value of j in reverse array function? 5 multiplied by 4, and it becomes star 1020. Therefore, star a of I is nothing but star 1008 is equal to a of j is nothing but star 1020. Always evaluate the RHS first. Star 1020, go to address 1020 and fetch the value. What is the value? 60. And where you want to store 60, go to address 1008 and store 60. Now this is address 1008, you are storing 60. Now, what is the last line? You know how to reverse two numbers, how to swap two numbers. You say a of j is equal temp. Now just now I have calculated a of j. The value of a of j is 1020. It becomes star 1020 is equal to temp. What is the value of temp? 30. It means go to address 1020 and store 30. Now this is 1020 and you store 30. And you see that 60 and 30 are exchanged. We are in the reverse array function, but the modification is happening in the main scope because arrays are passed by reference. I hope you are getting it. How does the working happens with respect to arrays? Is that okay? I hope there should not be any question until this point of time. Now, after you swap a of I and a of j, which is the lower limit and upper limit, next thing you want to swap 40 and 50. Right? That means the value of I, which is 2, now should become 3. The value of I, which is 2, now should become 3. Hence, how do I write it? I say I plus plus. The value of I will become 3. When does the value of I become 3? I is pointing here. Now I am swapping a of I and a of j. J, which is pointing to 5, I have to swap 40 and 50. J should now point to 4. And how do you point j to 4? You say j minus minus. J now points to 4. Still I have to reverse it. Now these 3 step reverses. Therefore I need to repeat this. And whatever there is repetition, we put in the body of loop. Now which loop and all, we will see it. Now you say temp is a of I. Again, what is a of I? Star a plus I. The value of I is 3. Star a plus 3 into 4. A is 1000 plus 3 into 4 is 1012. Go to address 1012 and fetch the value. Therefore, the value of temp will become 40. Needless to say. Now, a of I gets the value of a of j. Therefore, 50 gets stored here. How does internally working happens? I already said. A of j gets the value of temp. What is the value of temp? It is 40. 40 is stored here. Now again you say I plus plus, I becomes 4 and j minus minus, j will become 3. Now this is I and this is j. Again do you want to swap 40 and 50 and to get the original array back? No, I need to stop. When did I stop? When the value of I became greater than j. It means when should I continue? Yes, can anyone say when should I continue? I stop when I became greater than j. This is the stopping condition. It means I will continue when I is less than j. Are you getting it? Now what is the value of I? 4. What is the value of j? 3. 4 less than 3 is false. You come out and you close the function, because there is no point in returning anything. Any modification done in the called function is reflected back in the calling function whenever you pass by address, and we know that arrays are passed by address, and this is how the working happens. Now the closing bracket of the function is taken as return. This scope gets deactivated. You come back to main. Now you need to verify that the array is what? The array is reversed between lower limit and upper limit. And how do you verify it? How do you verify it? Yes, can anyone say which function we call? Which function we call? We say printf reversed array is. Which function we will call? Can anyone say me? Yes. Which function we call? We call, yes, the display array function. Right. Which array we want to display? Between array A, complete array elements n, and you say return 0, stop the function, and when you say display array, it will display 10, 20, 60, 50, 40, 30, 70, and you see that the array is reversed between index 2 and index 5, and when you say return 0, the main scope also gets deactivated. Now the assignment would be, how do you reverse the complete array? Now if I want to reverse the complete array, say me, what should be the lower limit? If I want to reverse the complete array between index 0 and index 6, what should be the lower limit? What should be the lower limit? The value of n is 7. What should be the lower limit? 0. Because you want to reverse between lower limit and upper limit, right? And I want to reverse complete array. And what should be the value of upper limit? It should be 6. And how 6 is related to 7? n minus 1. Therefore, what should be the lower limit instead of L? Instead of L, it should be 0. Instead of u, what should be the upper limit? N minus 1. And if you write this way, this will reverse the complete array. This will reverse the complete array. And if you want to reverse the complete array, these two lines should not be written, because lower limit and upper limit are not input to the program that time, because lower limit is by default 0, upper limit is n minus 1. Hence, because we want to reverse the complete array. Now, if you want to reverse between lower limit and upper limit, lower limit will be the user, whatever the user has said. Upper limit will be the u, whatever the user has said. And if you want to reverse the complete array, lower limit will be 0, as now I have written. Upper limit will be n minus 1. And you trace yourself how does it reverses the complete array. So this is the logic for reversing the array between lower limit and the upper limit. Thank you friends for watching this video, and we are going to use this program in rotation of an array. Thank you.